Canada's effort to resettle Afghan refugees has lagged behind targets in the year since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan. Government figures show the country has welcomed more than 4 times as many Ukrainians as Afghans since last August. Activists and MPs are accusing the Liberals of not doing enough and leaving people in danger of persecution from the Taliban. Not just people, but the interpreters. For more on this, we're joined by our senior political correspondent for CTV News Channel, Mike Couture. Mike, thanks for joining us. Where is the government now in meeting this unmet goal?
Yeah, they're not even halfway, Christina, and it's really interesting because when we compare the numbers, especially as you'd mentioned there, to resettling Ukrainians here in Canada, the timeline isn't even the same. Let's have a look quickly at these numbers. First of all, Canada's government target was 40,000 Afghans to be resettled here in Canada. So far, they've barely gotten over the 17,000 mark. That is something that they say is a result of trying to deal with the Taliban and how difficult that is, getting exit visas for any of these number of people. Compare that to the number of Ukrainians that Canada has been able to resettle. It is over 71,800. And keep in mind, again, the timeline. The war in Ukraine only started 172 days ago. Not that full year that we're talking about, marking the anniversary of the fall of Kabul and the exodus from Afghanistan that a number of people were trying to make. The Canadian government saying one of the reasons for this is that they don't have a diplomatic presence in Afghanistan and the difficulty in dealing with the Taliban. Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister, was asked about it last week. She is trying to look at this really as a glass half full type of option, but at the same time saying that she still thinks of the difficulty that is being lived right now by the Afghan women and girls who obviously have seen their lives take an enormous turn when you consider that under Taliban rule it's been way more difficult for them. Have a listen to the Deputy Prime Minister now.
I think we can hold our heads up high when we think about our response compared to that of our allies. There's a lot more work to do, and certainly as I've been traveling the country, I've been really struck by how committed Canadians are to the people of Afghanistan. So we're going to keep on doing that work, and we're going to get them here.
So she says they're going to keep on doing that work, Christina, but I think a lot of people want to see that number increase and want to see a lot more Afghans coming to Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. You addressed this question. The question people have, of course, is why, and certainly not having a diplomatic relationship would pose some challenges. But Mike, what kind of pressure is the government feeling now, not only from opposition parties, but the Afghan community here in Canada who have said, you know, our friends in Afghanistan, the interpreters, helped you out, and they want to come here now, and they're left behind, some of them.
Yeah, and it's not just the Afghan community here, right, Christina? I mean, we did see over the weekend a number of protests of people trying to continue to put that pressure on. You've also had Canadian veterans who have taken it upon themselves to try and get the interpreters that either helped them or helped their colleagues to try and get them out and get them here. There has been an enormous effort behind the scenes, even journalists who had gone over for a number of tours in Afghanistan who have tried their best to get people out. One of the difficulties, again, there had been a number of sort of side deals brokered trying to get some of these interpreters out of Afghanistan into Pakistan so that they could be, take a flight out in that way. The difficulty and the logistics that it would take to get somebody out of Afghanistan, according to the Canadian government, is enormous compared to what we had seen in Ukraine. That is why a lot more Ukrainians had come out. But still, the pressure remains there. Jenny Kwan, the NDP critic for immigration, says the treatment of these Afghans, especially the ones who have helped Canada, is horrendous, and she will be calling on the government again later on today to do more and to step up for these people.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. Our senior political correspondent for CTV News Channel, Mike Couture. Always great to chat with you. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Christina.